first break. Well, I walked over to the mess hall, saw the young lady that I had seen before, the one selling newspapers, and she was still looking good. The old guy across from her was selling switchblades, but I really didn't need one. However, I did buy a Stars and Stripes from the young girl. Later, we'd call that newspaper the Hanoi Herald because of its slanted reporting. Later that afternoon, I woke up in the sweltering heat, so I got up and went downstairs to the kiosk where I got a can of cold tomato juice and a bag of pork rinds. Got into a conversation with Blankenship and started watching the FRTS for a while. Johnny the bartender started talking about investing in the business of the Philippines. It seemed that his sister wanted to buy a sewing machine and start a sewing company, but needed some capitalization. I told him I had to think that one over. Blankenship and I decided we needed to go to the Chairman's Club and have a few drinks. Remember, we didn't have no pass. I went upstairs, got dressed, and we walked over to the club. Over to one side, I noticed a whole bunch of young ladies sitting in one section. I thought I had died and went to girl heaven. It turned out these girls referred to as rent-a-hucks. You could rent them to dance, just to talk to, or whatever else you could talk them into doing. We had several drinks, and I went back to the barracks, took a shower, and went to bed. I laid down, and the bed started spinning, and I couldn't find them seat belts. So I got up, was walking down the hallway when I ran into a couple of Trick One folks who I didn't really know. They had a can of Right Guard and a lighter. I did not see the connection until I passed them and felt the back of my underwear on fire. What a couple of assholes. Well, we made it down to the latrine without burning my buns, thank God. Went to the third star on the right and puked up my guts. I guess the excitement of having the flamethrower turned on me and all those drinks were too much. I have a thing about never using the first two stalls. I don't think any explanation is really necessary. Feeling much better after having talked to my good buddy Ralph, in the toilet bowl I went back to the room and laid down. The next day, all of us nugs except Barney Bowers got together and went over to the BX. I think that was the last time I ever bought a size 36 pants for myself. Something about San Miguel expanded my girth. Johnny the bartender had a new scheme when I got back to the kiosk. This time his brother wanted to start a concrete block factory. He had a mold and figured he could turn out at least 100 blocks a day if he had the concrete. The profits would be around a peso a block. Somehow, after all the computation and splits, I didn't figure a return of $1 a day would be a good deal of my investment of $250. I was starting to wonder if I had a dollar bill tattooed on my forehead, because Johnny wasn't talking to anyone else about these capitalistic ventures. I could see this break just wasn't anything. Thought of going over to the swimming pool, but everyone told me the only ones over there were leeches. That's dependents, and to stay clear of them. The second day of the break started out kind of quiet, and I went down to the kiosk and talked to my would-be financial advisor, Johnny. I kept noticing that people kept coming and going from a small back room. I got up and went into the room and saw a card game was going on. Reb Reiner, J.J. Joyner, Woody, and Henderson were playing poker. Talking to them, they said they were regular players and asked if I would like to join in. I said that my funds were limited, and they brought to my attention they were playing payday stakes. Reiner, with his green visor tilted on his forehead, looked like crap. He had been playing with only about 2 hours sleep non-stop since the bus had gotten back from the comm center 2 mornings previously, and he had never went down and seen Cora and Pete. He had his bottle of Jim Beam under the table and had been nursing it. Sergeant Henderson, the Western SEAL Trick 4, didn't look much better. Woody and Joyner also were experiencing battle fatigue. Well, I turned them down. They said that this afternoon they were going over to Reiner's place in Mountain View, Balabago, and asked if I wanted to come along. I declined once again, seeing I didn't have no pass. Went outside and met Weidman, the only guy that I never found anyone to have a good word for the entire time we were stationed together. He worked in the tea room at the comm center, was considered a puke. My only problem was I so knew I still didn't know what a tea room was. While we were talking, a tall Afro-American man walked up. He would not speak to me because, him being a strong black man, he wasn't going to lower his standards and talk to any white guys that he didn't have to. Later found out his name to be Spec 4 Strong. Yes, there was trouble in paradise. We must remember that this was 1968 and there was still rioting going on in the States. Damn! Right in a whole bucket of fighting.